y'all, my name is Nick and welcome back to State of Woods Co. Have you ordered a Thunder laser and don't really know much about how it's going to come shipped to you? Well, in this video, we're going to show you how they're going to come, how to prepare, and how to safely unload it from the truck. So you just bought your Thunder laser or you're thinking about buying one, but shipping is a big question to you. How do you get something this large into your shop or garage? So receiving your laser should be very simple, and Thunder has already taken care of pretty much everything for you. Now when it comes to these big pieces of equipment, there may be some circumstances that you need to assist with. Now this video will help you with all of Thunder Laser's products, but it really is tailored towards the equipment that is very large, like the Nova 51 and the Nova 63. So receiving something this large does not have to be a scary thing. Thunder's actually made it very easy for you. So the first thing that the shipping company is going to do is reach out to you and say, hey, I have a shipment coming from Thunder and I want to deliver it on a certain day. And then you're going to confirm yes or no. And then they're going to ask you, are there any limitations? Do you have an area where a transfer truck or semi-truck can't turn around? Do you need a box truck? Do you need a lift gate? And then they'll talk to you about the package weight and size and describe to you whether or not they think you need to have some way of lifting it off of the truck with a forklift or a tractor. Tell them your needs or tell them what you have and they will explain to you if it will or will not work. But if they have the ability to get a big truck with a lift gate that can handle it, then perfect. So this is our second Thunder laser in the shop. We've had a 51 Nova for about 2 years now, and this is a 63 Nova. Both of them come in a very large crate like this, and we've had the experience of having to offload one of these 2 different times and in 2 different ways. And we're going to show you how we did that right here. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways that we've offloaded this equipment. The first way with our Nova 51, we had an odd situation, but we had a very good driver. And so our area coming into the shop is a narrow driveway and a tight little area that has no turnaround for a semi-truck. But the driver was actually able to drive and back all the way up the driveway right to the shop. Now, I had a tractor in place to be able to help offload this, but my tractor was not strong enough to pick up the 1,200 pounds. And the lift gate was just barely enough size-wise to be able to help us offload this equipment and get it down into the shop. And again, I have to give props to this driver because he was unbelievable. But what happens if you don't have a situation where this is feasible? Now, if all these scenarios are not a problem for you, you've got plenty of place for the trucks to turn around, you've got a nice flat driveway, and your machine can fit on the lift gate, then that is awesome. You're well on your way, because the truck driver's responsibility is to be able to safely get it off of the truck and into where you need it to go. And so they'll have the pallet jack, they'll have everything that you need. But if you fall into the other scenarios, this is what you're going to want to do. Well, now let's talk about the second laser, the Nova 63. Now, this unit is heavier and the crate is slightly bigger, not in length, but more in width. Now, I learned a lot from the first unload of the 51, so I decided this time when the carrier called and said, what are your needs? I said, you know what? The odds of me getting a good driver like I had before in a semi-truck are probably slim. So I wanted them to go ahead and deliver it to me in a box truck, and they were able to do that. Now, I did make one mistake when I requested a box truck. Yes, it's easier to get in here, but a box truck is not as wide as a semi-truck. And so when this unit arrived, the laser was actually put in the box truck lengthwise, not widthwise across. So the first thing you probably noticed was while this was on the truck, the length was inside the truck, not the width, because for that box truck, it was very difficult for it to be able to fit widthwise like this orientation. So what we wanted to do was, instead of having all of that weight on the very front of the forks because that length of it, we took it off of the truck with the lift gate as an assist, got it down on the ground, and then came to it from the side, which is going to spread that weight out more evenly on the forks, and in turn makes it a much, much safer lift. Now, if this happens to you and they deliver this with the unit lengthwise, you're not going to be able to use the lift gate. And so that's where having that second piece of equipment is really helpful. So even if you have some issues with logistics, Thunder has a full logistics manager who is there to help assist customers with scenarios like this. So if your carrier says, hey, I can't deliver because of your needs or your availability and things like that, Thunder can help you facilitate a third-party company to come out maybe on a rollback truck or something like that, that can easily offload the equipment for you. Before your truck leaves, it's always a good idea to examine everything for damages. Make sure that there's nothing wrong with your unit before the driver leaves. Now, clearly we can see that somebody ran into this with forks, but with examination and looking in there, I don't see there's hardly anything even in the area that could have gotten damaged. So I'm happy with everything on here. I'm gonna do a quick walk around, make sure everything is good, and then I'll sign the paperwork and let the driver go. Thanks, sir.
Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate it, man. So when you're thinking about, especially with the bigger units, renting a forklift, make sure that you're getting one that has the weight capacity or the lift capacity. This unit is a 63 Nova, weighs right around 1,400 pounds or just north of that with shipping weight and everything like that. The Nova 51 is around 1,200 to 1,300 and the Nova 35s are about 900 pounds. So if you guys are new to running forklifts, you want to think about a couple different things: center of gravity and weight distribution. So the first thing that we did for weight distribution to help us is we widened our fork spacing. So if you have the ability to widen the distance between your forks, that's going to spread out that distance and help you to control the weight distribution just a little bit better. So the other thing you want to think about is center of gravity, trying to keep your laser and your forks as low as possible to the ground. Now, sometimes you can't always have it low to the ground. And you'll see here in our area, we have a nice slope coming into the shop, and I really wish we didn't, but you know, we can only do what we can do. So we have to be concerned about how high and the angle at which we approach coming in. So you saw that I decided to come down this hill backwards with the unit. And the reason being is because all of that weight on the front of the forks and not knowing where the center of this unit is, that weight could have fallen forward and rolled, which is absolutely not what you want to do. So I let gravity be my friend in this situation, and I let the weight of the machine lean up against the forks of the tractor and came backwards, so I had no chance of rollover. The biggest thing through all of this is just to make sure you're taking your time. Think a little bit before you do it, but just be patient. Go slow. It's okay, because I would rather spend 30 minutes trying to get this in its place than hurry it up in 5 minutes and then drop it and have something really bad happen to it. So take your time, think about it before you do it. So now the only thing left to do is to get this baby unboxed in its place and get her fired up and ready to go. Now, there is a full unboxing video that I have on the channel. If you want to look at that, there's a link to it right up here in the corner. But I hope this video has helped you in some way, and I hope that you're going to have fun with it. So until next time, have fun with your laser.